All right, everyone, due to the spreading of moral panic, it's more important now than ever that a few things be done by those who are really, I think, driving public consciousness in the sense, especially politically, but also socially, news in general, the new media as a total, even among people who don't themselves really express much of an opinion. What I've seen over the last few weeks is a fairly significant uptick in the amount of attempted censorship on these platforms. Now, some of it ended up getting scaled back, like they said, oh, we're going to give InfoWars a strike. Then they gave them a second strike, then they rescinded it apparently, and that was literally fed in by CNN. It's gotten to the point where there are multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations successfully attempting to employ the terms of service of websites against their competitors. The fact that it's somewhat successful should be worrying everyone. It should worry, it shouldn't matter what their political affiliation is. But it seems to have boiled down to a partisan bickering game, which is about the least helpful thing for the concept of having a free and open internet you can have. It's like we need net neutrality, but it doesn't matter if big tech breathes down our necks, because that's only abusing individuals. It's not abusing private companies. Somehow that's a better situation. What I would say is this. Number one is, if you're a content creator, join these sites, and that's what this is about. Links in the description. I am on Bitchute. All of the content I'm uploading here is mirrored there. In the future, I will be making exclusive content for Bitchute, and potentially Steam it as well. For instance, an Entheogen series. Perhaps some of the more edgy political commentary eventually will no longer be welcome at all here on YouTube. Even if it's within TOS, it no longer apparently seems to, in some cases, matter. Or at the very least, like, you get strikes, and you get abused, and then you appeal, and even if it ends up getting restored, it takes some time to get it restored. Sort of, you're sort of incentivizing the abuse of the flagging system by groups that are political in nature, or by groups that they're attacking a competitor, like a CNN is doing with InfoWars, explicitly even writing about the fact that they did so, and apparently thinking that's a great thing. That's not going to cause any ire among the YouTubers of the world. Now, you should definitely join me. Second link to Minds. Minds.com is about to switch to a crypto-based system, away from the internal sort of points-based system they have now. There are people apparently making a considerable sum of money already on Minds. Now, I don't really do monetization or anything like that, but if they're doing crypto and people are just, passively mining a little bit while using this network, and people are taking a share for making or collating content, that could work, actually. It could work for me, and I think it could work for a website. All above board, they'd probably not only be solvent, but take off. The idea is novel enough so that it would probably get them more attention. The site would probably grow larger. I believe I have a considerable audience on there. It's approaching 9,000 followers, and that's Minds. And Minds, very quickly, I think, within the next few months probably, my audience there will be larger than on Facebook. Now, Facebook is gargantuan. I'm putting similar content on both of these pages, yet Facebook, it's like, lucky if 10 people join the page in a day. Mine's it's like, 30, 40, maybe 50 people join. Yeah, there's a difference here, and the thing is, it's not an echo chamber. Look, Gottman's not exactly far right, although people are trying to cast it off as, well, this is the alt-right Facebook. No, not really. Gab is an excellent site too, and probably of all of the alt-tech and new tech sites, it has the biggest, I think, fiscal advantage. The structure of a site that is Twitter-like is more potentially efficient. Gab as well has already raised an enormous amount of money. It's already improved. Like, they had higher character limits before Twitter did. Twitter actually appears to have adopted their idea because it worked. So Gab's response is, okay, now you can have, I think it's like 1,000 characters. And you can also upload video there. It's a 200 megabyte limit, which I think they should focus more on streaming. Like, they should implement a sort of a podcasting system. An audio-only live broadcasting system. No video, actually. It would just be like logos and stuff. That could work alongside the smaller uploads for standalone or shorter content. I think it would be a good idea. That would be my advice to Gab. Maybe they intend to do that in the future. But having alt-tech is really the first way in which we can prevent censorship. The second way is to platform those that have been abused, to give them the ability to air their grievances, to address things. Keeping in mind, of course, if you have a stream, of course, you can be flagged for what your guest says, so beforehand, probably a good idea to agree upon, or implement a delay if you want to, I suppose. Agree upon maybe some subjects you're not talking about. You've got to use a little bit of tact at this point. We shouldn't have to. We should be able to do what we always did on YouTube, which is, hey, I'm talking about an issue, here's my opinion. I'm not harassing a person. I'm not making a criminal threat. I'm not doing anything illegal, therefore it should be allowed on the platform. We can no longer do that, though. NGOs have done to YouTube what they've done to older wave websites over time. The legacy media, which is try to gull them into adopting censorship methods that will, in time, degrade the functionality of the site, I think. It will centralize it more. Some of this is fiscal. Some of this is related to other groups trying to, get in and basically blackmailing Google, I think, at this point. Now, I'm just saying, basically, we will side with your competitors, applaud them, and ream you over and over using our friends in the media unless you do what we tell you to do. It seems to be that that's what has happened. I think it's partially political. I think they're worried about the influence some of the larger political commentators on YouTube have. So definitely, please do join me on these sites because, I could be banned on Twitter at any given time. You don't even need to have broken any rule. It can be something you posted on another site. Twitter has literally announced that. That's the most draconian practice of all with YouTube. It's not so much that I do anything outside of TOS, it's that it seems that over time, how those are actually utilized is shifting. Well, then I don't know if that ends up shifting at some point. I don't realize it and it leaves my content behind and it gets abused. With Facebook at this point is useless. I'm going to come out and say this. I would not have a Facebook page at all if I wasn't administering a group on Facebook. That's all. It's my fan page. That's all I do. I don't post things on my actual profile. I have like 3 people that I even fucking message at this point. So who cares? Facebook is dying off. Nobody from the younger generation is joining it. A lot of the millennials are leaving it high and dry for better platforms, including Minds. Minds is just a more functional Facebook that doesn't abuse you anyway. Plus a blog functionality, plus video posting, although it's a little arcane. It's more like a Live Leak style thing. By the way, that's another thing. LiveLeak really should be the one to rebrand itself, considering it's sort of commensurate with the edgier side of content you couldn't put on YouTube there for half a decade. Right now you have to do a bunch of coding. So really, links in the description to those. You should join me there. We can circumvent censorship, but it takes time and effort. The dark days of the current dying paradigm are not over yet.